stake.
Hi, I'm here to talk about Jehovah's Witness.
I will never go away!
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today I'm talking about Zack Snyder's latest film. Found over on Netflix, it's Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead stars Dave Bautista as Scott Ward, the man leading an army into Las Vegas, a city surrounded by the Walking Dead, in order to retrieve $200 million from a vacant casino's unbreakable lock. And they must do this before the government nukes the city. While on this journey, they discover that these zombies aren't exactly what they were expecting. So I'm apparently not only the last person to review this film, but I feel like I was also the last to know it even existed. Zack Snyder's Zombieverse. Honestly, the first time that I ever heard about this film was shortly before it was released on Netflix, and I'm seeing all these different ads all of a sudden about a new zombie film coming out directed by Zack freaking Snyder, and the trailers actually look pretty darn interesting. I'm a pretty big fan of zombie films, and the idea of it being written and directed by Snyder makes so much sense to me given what I know about his dark but kind of creative vision behind his work. And you can definitely tell that this is a Zack Snyder joint. There's no getting around it. I may not care for a Superman being a dark tale, but if we're talking about zombies, that's freaking perfect! And The Army of the Dead is such a unique zombie film too. I can't even begin to explain that because the best way for you to experience it is just watch it for yourself. But it kind of dives subtly into science fiction, so there's all these theories going around that if you look into it and start thinking about it a little bit more, the film gets substantially more interesting, but all on its own, it's actually pretty exciting. The plot itself is relatively straightforward, and if you've ever saw Train to Busan's spin-off Peninsula, you already know the plot. That is, we have a cordoned-off area where zombies are running rampant, but the human population is actually safe from them, since the area is walled off. And a select group of individuals voluntarily go into the danger zone in order to retrieve a large sum of money. This happens in both the movies. But given a choice between the two of these movies, I would undoubtedly choose Army of the Dead. Train to Busan was a very exciting, unique, and claustrophobic zombie film, and I love it. But its spin-off was disjointed, had some issues with visuals, and had a lot of characters that I just didn't care about. I mean, the reasons why they went into their walled-off area was more about greed than anything else. It just kind of felt hollow as a whole. While the reasonings behind these characters in Army of the Dead and why they're risking their lives for this money is much more complex and diverse depending on the characters. And past that, you care about these characters and the individual things that make them who they are. Plus, it doesn't hurt that this film has some gorgeous looking visuals and cinematography, which is obviously what Snyder is often known for. You know, kind of making his movies look like graphic novels. I also really appreciated some of the mystery found in this film, as the audience will be tasked with kind of reconsidering what these things are. You know, are they just typical zombies, or is there something else going on? There's plenty of material in the film that lends credence to the variety of different theories that people have about the film, and that's just a fun fact. It doesn't change anything for the plot's progression. It just makes you think. And I like movies that make you think. Also, this is kind of a random point, but I actually really liked Dave Bautista here. I thought that this was some of his best acting in general, and you feel the heart behind his motivations. If I were to pinpoint any negatives, I would just say that when the film slows down and focuses on different characters, I sometimes lost a little bit of focus. It's not that I was not interested in them or who they were. I just felt like those scenes in particular sometimes felt like they dragged on, and that's probably because there's quite a few main characters here. So naturally, there needs to have all this time inserted into the film in order to introduce everybody and give them all enough equal screen time. It makes sense, but had I made the film, I probably would have made sure to keep the group a little bit smaller just to keep the pacing of the film flowing on a much more natural progression. Other than that, that's really the only negative that I had for it. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at my final score for a second. From a purely technical viewpoint, I really enjoyed a lot of what was going on visually. Whether you're talking about practical or special effects, the cinematography game is on point. And I actually really liked the music choices in the film as well, which did a really good job mirroring the atmosphere of the film. My technical score is 88%, and because I had such a good time with the film, I can't help but give this a glowing bias score with 94%. And when we average out the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 91%. 91 out of 100 possible stars, or an A- letter grade. Yeah, man, this film is super unique, and if you're a fan of zombie films in general, I think you'll actually get a kick out of it. Not only do I like it more than Zack Snyder's Justice League, but it's currently my highest rated film of the year so far. That's bound to change, I'm sure, but as it is, fellers, I recommend it. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1 critic that I go to when I need a movie pick. Thanks for joining up with us.